What is being done in preparation for the first day of school?
Well, for us, in preparation for the first day of school, we have a lot of our typical things going on as far as in buildings and grounds and maintenance. Been working hard all summer to prepare all of the classrooms and the waxing and those type of things, and some of the projects that we've had, replacing some carpet, replacing tile, a lot of maintenance and upkeep. But this year it's been complicated because we've had a number of construction projects as part of our 2020 bond issue that we're finishing up. We've got an 8 classroom addition going on to the middle school, and also finishing up parking lot project here at the high school, and beginning a kindergarten center project at the early childhood. So with those projects going on, that's kind of gotten in the way of some of our normal maintenance and pushed some of our compress some of our timelines, but we will have the classrooms ready to go and look forward to the students coming in and opening some of those new areas that we've had recently built and added to the district.
That's very exciting. Has that postponed any first day of school start dates or anything, or is everything on track?
Everything is on track for our students to come back. We have some teachers that sometimes like to come in a little earlier than they're required to come in, and we have had to push some of those dates back, but we will be on track with all of our official start dates for our staff as well as our students.
Very exciting. Um, have any important policies changed this year since last year? That
We don't have any important policy changes. I would say one thing we are preparing for, it's legislative changes with the get the lead out for the lead testing. We are preparing for the lead testing in all of our buildings and facilities to do this fall and to comply with that legislation. But I don't know if that's necessarily a policy change, but we are preparing for that, but no major policy changes.
okay. Um, and can you tell me about your staffing levels and a little bit about your teacher retention rates?
Yeah, absolutely. Teacher retention and recruitment is a huge focus of our Board of Education in our community. We have relationships with both of our local colleges, with Westminster and William Woods, for Grow Your Own programs. That's helped out through our foundation and through the district in order to try to bring some of our own students back to Fulton as to work in our schools. So that's been important for us. As we move forward, we hope to continue to grow those. Right now, I think like most industries, we are seeing some difficulty with recruitment and retention, just from the simple fact of, we've had more leaving the profession than coming into the profession. And so trying to identify those candidates and try to grow some of our own candidates to come into those positions. We have all of our positions filled to start the school year. We do have enough people to be able to begin school, but we still have some holes that we could fill, but we've got enough to be able to start the school year, and we'll continue to seek those positions.
With that being said, have you noticed any issues with hiring bus drivers for this coming year?
Yeah, we're short about 3 bus drivers. We have all of our routes covered. And when I say we have all of our routes covered, we've had to adjust some routes to make sure that if we had enough staff and enough drivers, an additional couple of drivers, we would probably add a route or two. And so the buses weren't quite as full. But we are prepared to be able to transport all of our students. But by all means, if somebody's looking to drive buses, we have some availability for that.
Awesome. Um, and if, oh, yes, okay. So with Raptor Alert, from my understanding, it's an app that all school districts in Missouri use, for, and, or maybe not all use, but I was wondering if your school district uses it and like how it works, and just basically if you can tell me a little bit about that.
Sure, sure. So when you mention all schools use it, so the governor put aside money to help pay for all schools to use it if they want to. So there's some grant funding out there for that. So I think that's where you read that all schools use it. So in Fulton's case, we were actually looking into Raptor before funds were made available by the state, because we were looking for some type of a solution for our teachers to have that panic button and that, that could be on them at all time, where they have the opportunity to notify the right people of any emergency that takes place. So we are going to be in the second phase of Raptor this fall as far as rolling it out. So we don't have it right now, but we will be rolling it out this fall. And for us, we're going to utilize it for that panic button for staff, and we're also going to utilize it for a reunification process. So if for some reason we have to relocate our students and our staff to an external location because of an emergency, we can utilize Raptor to help reunify with the appropriate parents or guardians and have a process for that. And then lastly, we'll also utilize it to manage our drills. But we'll
Okay.
be rolling out this fall.
So would that be used in if there was a fire drill, then would you use that app to notify parents that everyone was going outside, or is that what?
No, I don't know what all the capabilities are for it. In our case, the most emergency for us, we wanted our staff to have a way that whether they were in their classroom or outside, wherever they may be, they always had something with them to be able to say, hey, we've got an emergency. We have a suspicious person in the building. Somebody's not supposed to be here. We need to lock down the building, for them to be able to do that from wherever they are at any given time in any place and be able to get that information out to authorities. We still have our typical fire alarms and all of those things that go with that. This was really more for them to be able to do that individualized alert when they saw a threat for the school.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, and so we saw, according to the DESE reports, that reading and math scores have declined since the pandemic across Missouri. And we were wondering, what Fulton is, does Fulton have a plan, or is there anything that you guys are working on to increase those scores?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a focus, not just in Missouri, but across the country as we come back off of the pandemic and the learning loss that we've seen. We focused a lot on interventions and providing opportunities, whether that be before or after school, during school, to identify students and where they're struggling, utilizing localized assessments to determine what areas they need additional help with, and then providing the time and the staff to have those individualized interventions with them. And so that's an ongoing process. I think it's not new. We've always been trying to address student needs. It's just the needs are greater now than they've been in the past, and trying to account for that learning loss and get our kids caught up and where they need to be on grade level.
And we also saw that Desi is reporting that attendance has dropped as well. And we're wondering if that is shown as well in Fulton, and if so, what is being done to fix that?
Absolutely. So we recognized a year ago this time that we had a real concern with the attendance and that it was going to need to be a focus. So we started an attendance campaign last year that we focused on throughout the year, utilizing different signage, including messaging to our parents and our families and our students throughout the year. We even had messages we put out at ball games and public announcements of the importance of attendance and some different facts and figures and how that impacts students earning throughout their entire life and how that impacts their ability to graduate and to be successful. And so we actually this past year saw over a 6% increase in attendance this past year from the previous year. And we're going to continue that focus and continue that campaign so that we hopefully will just see that number rise even more this year. So to answer your question is yes, we will this year, but it'll be a continuation of what we did previously.
All right, that's awesome. Those are all of my questions that I have. If you have anything that you think would be important for people to know with just school coming up and preparation for the first day, is if there's anything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. We're very excited. It's going to be a great school year. We're looking forward to the kids coming back and being able to get all the activities started. Athletics started this week with activities. Band has been going on for a couple of weeks. And so we're excited to get the kids back, get them into the classrooms and see the amazing things that they do and the successes that they have and being able to work with them. So we're just looking forward to the school year and the opportunity to work with our families here in the community.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I really appreciate it.